So that's the test we're running today. Caitlin's phone running the tracker app. My phone just sitting there charging, doing nothing. And the dash cam doing its job as normal, where I can pull the footage off. Based on math, with a 128 gig card in the dash cam, I should be able to record 17 hours of continuous drive time. What I would do is order 3 more memory cards and then switch them out probably every 14 to 15 hours of travel time. Looks like a beautiful day today, although it's a little chilly. I've got 55 in my car, but not a cloud in the sky. We had a frost warning last night. I don't think it got that cold when I went to bed, and I actually went to bed a lot later than I wanted to because I was messing around with some video editing. It was down to about 45 degrees when I went to bed, so we might have touched 40 this morning, but we're rebounding quick. Yeah, I just jumped 2 more degrees as I went down over this hill, so 57 now. So yeah, it's looking to be a nice day. Unfortunately, I'm working a long day today. I'm going in a little bit late because I stayed a little bit late the other night. Sounds like our truck that's supposed to arrive today will not be there when I get there. I got a message yesterday saying it will probably not arrive till tomorrow. So our frozen warehouse is running a little bit behind. But that's understandable because news broke 2 days ago or yesterday, I can't remember when, but recently that there are several employees at our warehouse that have come down with COVID. So that most undoubtedly is going to affect the attendance at the warehouse, which is going to cause, if they were already having attendance problems before the COVID thing came out, this will just complicate that further. So I expect that the warehouse shipments hopefully won't be affected by it, but I will not be surprised if we have continuing issues on that front. That being said, if the truck that came in on Wednesday didn't arrive until right before I left Wednesday night, giving me no time to work it, if our managers that were there yesterday, because I was off yesterday, didn't have time to work that truck, and it looked like they wouldn't because the pictures I saw of the parking lot were a very, very busy parking lot very early in the morning yesterday. Then that truck should still be mostly sitting there for me to work today when I get there. So I guess we'll see what I have to do when I get there. So it appears to be traffic is continuing to pick up, where people are getting antsy and starting to head back to work or back to school or back to whatever they want to do. Even though the businesses are still mostly closed. You know, one thing I haven't seen through all of this is speed traps. There have been this stretch of road between, the point where 40 and 85 come together in Hillsborough, all the way until you get to about Burlington or Graham. This stretch of road is notorious for having lots and lots of speed traps. They'll park right up there on the bridges, usually, and then radar from on top of the bridges, and then come chase you down on the highway. I haven't seen a whole lot of that activity in the last month or so. So I suspect that the police are limiting their contact with the public as much as they can. And I don't blame them. So much so that the billboard behind this truck right here on the right, can't see it, but I'm sure you've seen it in other videos, is a parody of the old Got Milk campaign where, the Got Milk ? Well, the ad says Got Ticket, and then there's a law firm that has their website on there. So anyway, back to work. I don't expect today to be any different than the last couple of weeks, except for the fact that we'll probably be busier because now people have money courtesy of our government and they'll be looking to spend it. Some people just don't know how to hang on to money. They burn it as soon as it comes in. Saw several different families yesterday at Walmart buying frivolous things with their stimulus money. One family I saw got a brand new TV. Saw a lot of bikes going out the door, which I think is kind of funny because you got all these parents that are cooped up in the house. They can't go anywhere. They can't go to work. They can't go shopping. They can't do this, can't do that. So they're stuck in their house with their kids, and they're presumably getting sick and tired of their kids. So they're buying the kids bicycles so they can kick the kids outside and tell them to go play outside so they can get some peace and quiet for themselves. Which I think is hilarious because that's pretty much what it was like growing up in the 80s. We all had bikes growing up, and if our bikes broke, their parents would go ahead and buy us another one if it couldn't be fixed. And we were constantly being told to go play outside growing up. But that was the age before the internet and before, actually for me, before even cable TV, because we lived in a rural town and we didn't have more than 2 or 3 channels until I was in the 8th grade. And that was when my parents finally bought a satellite dish. And of course they've had a dish ever since then. So they had one of the big 10-foot wide giant dishes that moved when you changed satellites. Well, anyway, I'm tired because I stayed up too late last night doing video editing. And I was playing with a new video editing program that can take footage like you're seeing here, driving, and it can insert the telemetry from a GPS into that footage. The piece of software is designed for a specific type of camera, the Garmin Verb. But I don't have a Garmin Verb. I have a GoPro, and I have a dash camera that's made by a company in the Far East. Fiofo is the name of the dash cam company. And it can take that footage, but the software can take the footage from any camera as long as you have the GPS coordinates to plug into it, which you can get by using any phone with an app, a GPS logging app, and there's several of them out there. So you take that data from the app, merge it together with the camera, and you can insert the telemetry from the GPS into your video footage in a very eye-pleasing way. It looks kind of neat. So playing with that a little bit, and I was just trying to get everything to work properly last night. And I had some success. I did produce a video. It won't go up to YouTube because it's just simply test footage from my GoPro that I merged with telemetry from my phone. But as I drive to work, to and from work, I'm running more and more tests so that when we do take a big road trip, we'll be able to, as part of the vlogs, we'll be able to insert our telemetry anytime we're filming on the road. All right, well, that's besides the point. I'm just about to work right now, so I'm going to go ahead and stop it. I'll probably turn the camera on when I get out of work, and we'll pick it up on the other side. So we'll see you this evening at about 7 o'clock. Well, a very different Friday today than I expected. It was, I don't know, our department was very slow, but the store overall was very busy. We had certain departments were very busy. Meat, produce, and grocery, frozen and dairy were all very busy today. The deli and bakery, not so much. It's just a sign of more of the same, of basically people getting their stimulus check money or the government money that they send all Americans, and people using that money to stock up on food that can be stored long term. Like obviously meat and stuff like that can be stored in a freezer. And then of course high shelf life items were flying off the shelf today. So even though it felt like there wasn't that many customers in the store, the sales numbers were telling a different story. So I think if I were to look it up, the amount of dollars that were spent per customer was much higher today than what is typically the case, particularly on Friday. So once again, for the last several Fridays in a row, our sub shop was really, really slow. Subs are on sale in our company for on Fridays versus every other day. So generally we do a lot of subs on Fridays, but in a normal circumstance, these are people coming in to just get subs and then going home. People aren't doing that right now. People are coming in less often to the store, and when they do come in, they're buying more product and less grab and go or buy and eat kind of stuff, and more stocking up and packing it away in their fridges and pantries. So that is translated to a very, very slow sub shop, despite the fact that we have plenty of help. So I was using our help in different ways today. I was having them work on cookies and having them work on, helping put product out on the shelf, that kind of stuff. Because we have another thing coming with our departments. They're replacing the refrigeration units in both. We have two big walk-in freezers in our store. One specifically for the bakery and one big one that the rest of the store shares. And they're going to be working on both those freezers on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And while they're working on those freezers, they have to shut them down. So all the product from those freezers has to be moved into a refrigerated trailer truck that will be brought in just for a couple of days to store that stuff. So we're trying to get our freezers product levels as low as we possibly can. And that way, when it comes time to move everything into the tractor trailer, it won't be as much to move. And on top of that, on Tuesday night, we have our monthly inventory that we have to do. So it's going to be an interesting week coming up in the next several days. I'm scheduled 12 to 7 tomorrow. I'm probably going to come in at the very latest 11, if not come in a little earlier than that, because there is a lot of work to do there. So it's 7:30 now, 69 degrees. Very nice day. It was a very nice day all day today. With it being 69 still this late into the evening, we're only about, half hour away from sunset and about an hour away from total darkness. With it being this warm so far, it shouldn't be as cold tonight as it was last night. So it sounds like it's just another day in the life of coronavirus time, so not a whole lot different. Hearing more and more on the news, though, that the federal government, led by the president, is getting more and more anxious to get this country back up and running and get the economy going again. It could be a mistake, but we won't know for a couple of weeks. That we just don't know what it might end up happening. A lot of the scientists and the experts are saying if we open up the country now completely, we're going to have another outbreak here in another month or so and just drag this thing out. If we keep it shut down, we can squash this thing even further. So right now our country is in the middle of that debate of, do we open, do we not? And it is becoming, up until now, it's been overwhelmingly no, we do not open. But now it's becoming more split, at least from what I'm sensing. And as the days go by, it seems to be leaning more and more towards reopening the country. So the thing that's holding everything up is the lack of testing that we have nowadays. Also, an interesting story I just heard a little while ago. It's concerning this way station over here on the right. Earlier today, I don't know if they're still doing it, but all trucks were being routed into this way station, and all trucks were being required to stop at the way station instead of going on the automatic, because this one is set up for automatic weigh-in, roll, whatever they call it, where a lot of trucks don't have to go to the way station. They can just slow down and roll through and then roll on out. Well, earlier today, the police and a local business, Firehouse Subs, actually they're not local, they're a chain. Earlier today, Firehouse Subs and the state police were giving out free lunch to all the truckers coming through that way station on both directions. So that was a very, very cool thing to see the truckers getting recognized like that by the law enforcement and Firehouse Subs. And Firehouse Subs, if you don't know, is a sub shop. Basically, they do subs. They're freaking amazing subs too. But they were founded by firemen. Can't recall exactly how many firemen started up the company, but it is at least a pair, if not a small group of firemen that started up Firehouse Subs. And they make fantastic subs. If you haven't had a Firehouse Subs, you need to have one, because they are really good. But very cool gesture by the police and the firemen, or the Firehouse Subs, taking care of truckers in the way they have. Because the truckers don't get recognized enough for what they do to keep everything rolling. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and end it for today. Nothing really too exciting happened at work today. other than us making plans for having to vacate our freezer over the weekend. I got until Monday morning to move everything out, so yeah, that'll be the process at this point. So more information as we hear it. I don't know if we're going to take the dog for a walk tonight. I'm kind of tired tonight because I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night. Self-inflicted. It was my own fault staying up too late playing with the videos, but nonetheless a little more sleep deprived than normal, so I'm going to go ahead and end it. Tomorrow's another work day, like I mentioned before, 12 to 7. I'll probably go in a little bit earlier than that, and then I've got Sunday off, so looks like another fairly boring day of vlogs there, and then we'll take things as they go from there. So until the next one, we'll talk to you later.